The Chicago Bulls get the win as they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 127-111. We're going to be talking about the key takeaways from tonight's win. And so before we go ahead and we jump into it, I first want to remind you to slam dunk on that subscribe button, just like Modest Buzelis slam dunks in games. And so in exchange for slamming on that subscribe button, I'm going to give you nothing but daily content around the Chicago Bulls. And so make sure that you hit that like, you hit that subscribe, and you join the Chicago Bulls Insider family as we talk nothing but Chicago Bulls basketball. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump into it as we are talking about the key takeaways from tonight's win against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And so I always like to start with the points that really describe what we saw in this game. And so I have three. And so the first one being good zone defense. I think that that's exactly what the Bulls were able to do early on in this game, and it really kind of turned it up for the Chicago Bulls. I think that they got very disruptive on the defensive end. I think in the first half, the Bulls had 8 steals. Tre Jones had 3 of those, and so the activity defensively picked up once Billy Donovan went ahead and made that adjustment. And also, too, they were able to keep the Cavs off the offensive glass, and so that was huge because the Cavs are a very good offensive rebounding team. And so that zone defense that the Bulls went to was a huge adjustment early on as it helped the Bulls get back into the game and just really become more disruptive on defense. And so next, the double big lineup was huge for the Chicago Bulls. I thought that Zach Collins and Jalen Smith did a great job as far as coming in and bringing some energy and effort to the team. They were great with the rebounds and just following up and just doing timely things as far as scoring and everything else. And so just great effort there from the double big lineup. And so I thought that that was another good adjustment there for Billy Donovan, the zone defense, and then also to going to the double big lineup. And lastly, collectively for the team, this was just terrific effort. I think that this is the type of effort that we saw from this team early on when they were 5-0. And I just felt like that everybody that was on the floor just really helped this team get the win tonight. It felt like it was everybody had that type of impact. And so it was good to see that the Bulls played this hard with some effort tonight. They really fought their way back into the game early, which was impressive because they could have packed it up. They were down 12. They put on a nice little 8-0 run to get back into that. I think that the Bulls got into their playing style. They did a great job with the fast break points. They were terrific with their bench scoring as well. In fact, in the first half, the Bulls were having an advantage of 14-2 early on in the first half, and that was without Ayo Dosunmu. And then in the third quarter, the team really came out well. I think at one point they were 10 of 10 in the third quarter, so they really took it to the Cavs there, and then they were able to finish the game. And so those are my 3 points, just really good all-around effort. The double big lineup was huge for this team and just great zone defense. And so next, I wanted to go ahead and jump into the starters and the bench performances here for the Chicago Bulls. And so jumping into the starters and just starting with those performances, let's start with Josh Giddey. And so Josh Giddey continues to be consistent for the Chicago Bulls. I believe this was his 6th triple-double of the season. And so he had 23 points, plus 15 in the plus-minus box score. He did have 3 turnovers in this one. He did have 1 block shot, very nice at the end against Thomas Bryant, 2 steals, 11 assists, 11 rebounds as well. And he was 2 of 2 from the free throw line and 5 of 11 from deep and 8 of 18 from the field in 34 minutes. And so what I liked about Josh Giddey is that, man, he really, is showing the growth there as far as the 3-point shot. And I like the fact that he just wasn't just driving into the teeth of the defense all the time, even though I think that that is one of his superpowers. But the fact that he was able to mix it up a little bit today, I think that that really helped him. And I like the pace in which he played today. I think that he really just kind of turned it on as the game went along. And then, his teammates also came with him. And so just some good passes from Josh Giddey as well. The effort there on the rebounds too. And so just a great effort from Josh Giddey tonight. And so next, Coby White. And so with Coby White, I think that he really got off to a good start. In fact, I believe he was 3 of 3 to start off things, and things were going pretty well. But he did have, some of those moments where they were a little head scratching because there was one time on a fast break he missed a dunk. Also, too, I believe he airballed an end of the quarter attempt as well. But other than that, I thought Coby White did a great job as far as getting downhill and getting to the free throw line. As you see, he led us there, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. He had 25 points. He was a -1 in the plus-minus box score. He did have 3 turnovers as well. He had 3 assists, and also, too, he had 5 rebounds. He was 8 of 13 from the field, 3 of 5 from deep. And so I like the fact that, look, he was 3 of 5. He didn't just fall in love with the 3-ball tonight. So Coby White finding ways to be impactful as a scorer. Next up, Nikola Vucevic. And so, look, with Vooch, he didn't start off well. In fact, in the first quarter, and he played 5 minutes. He didn't have anything going. Like, he had straight zeros across the board, and it didn't look good because going into the second quarter, the Cavs were small, and he didn't really necessarily take advantage of those matchups, and the team wasn't necessarily finding him there. But, man, he really started to pick it up as the game went along. You could tell that his energy level picked up. He started to make shots and everything else. And so it looked like the Vooch that we saw when he was playing against the Portland Trailblazers there. And so that was good to see with Vooch in tonight's game. And so 20 points, plus 15 in the plus-minus box score. Also, he had 1 turnover as well. He was 2 of 4 from downtown and 9 of 14 from the field in 29 minutes. You know, I just love the fact that Vooch just didn't just settle for the 3-ball too as well. I thought that he was doing some other things as far as mixing it up. You got to give, you know, everybody else a lot of credit for the finds and stuff as well, especially Josh Giddey finding them. And so next, Manas Buzelis. And so with Manas Buzelis tonight, look, 9 points. He was a plus 15 in the plus-minus box score. He did have the 1 turnover, the 1 block shot as well. He had 1 assist. He had 1 rebound. He was 3 of 4 from the free throw line and 0 of 2 from deep and 3 of 7 from the field in 22 minutes. And so with Manas Buzelis, look, he had some flashes, especially on offense. But I think with Manas, man, really to me, you know, he's not getting to the basket enough. And then also, too, there's also some defensive lapses as well. Like, he definitely gave up some back doors and stuff like that. And so Manas Buzelis, you know, he's still trying to figure it out here in year 2. I think that we've seen a lot more ups than downs, but it's going to be like this. Hopefully he's able to pick it up as the season goes along. And I just think that for him, he's going to have to probably start to do the stuff that Tre Jones is doing, where he's going to have to pick up the activity with the steals and deflections and really try to create offense a little bit more for himself that way, or these fast breaks to where he can get some easy baskets and get going. And that's also going to help him on the defense. And so Manas Buzelis, you know, it's an okay night because you get the win, you see the plus 15, but I would like to see him go to the basket a little bit more and then pick it up a bit more defensively. And so next, Issac Okoro. And so with Issac Okoro, look, I loved his game tonight. I thought that with him, he didn't settle for the 3-ball. As you can see, he didn't shoot any of those. And really, look, he was all over the place. Like, he got some tip-ins. He was slashing out there and everything else. And I just loved his energy tonight. So 12 points, plus 1 in the plus-minus box score. He did have 4 personal fouls. He had 1 steal, 1 assist. He had 2 rebounds, 6 of 7 from the field, and 31 minutes. And so I just loved his effort out there. He had a nice little run out for a layup as well. And then in the mic'd up session, he was like, hey, let's take the Cavs spirit and everything else. And so just played with a ton of energy out there. I even liked his first basket of the night. It was a nice little post up on Donovan Mitchell. So that was nice to see. So just some good stuff across the board for Issac Okoro, and some good stuff here from our starters. And so next, looking at the bench. And so starting with the first player off of the bench there for us, and that's Zach Collins. And so with Zach Collins, I talked about this just a moment ago, just some great energy off the bench for Zach Collins, knocked down a good 3-ball in this one. But more importantly, man, just him getting gritty inside today. And so 10 points, plus 4 in the plus-minus box score. He did have 2 steals. He had 2 assists. He had 4 rebounds as well. 4 of 8 from the field, 1 of 4 from deep, 1 of 3 from the free throw line in 16 minutes. Loved what I saw from him. Next, Jalen Smith. And so with Jalen Smith, it's not going to show necessarily with the points, but, man, just the energy, the effort there that you see on the boards. And so 4 points, plus 11 in the plus-minus box score. He did have 1 turnover in this one. 1 assist, 7 rebounds, 0 of 1 from deep, and 2 of 3 from the field in 16 minutes. Again, just some great minutes that we saw from both of the bigs off the bench. Next up with Patrick Williams. And so Patrick Williams, you see, he only hit 1 jumper today. And so 2 points, a -1 in the plus minus box score, 0 of 2 from deep, 1 of 3 from the field in 11 minutes. And, just talking about players just being impactful when they touch the floor with Patrick Williams and his one shot that he did have, it was the one that actually gave the Bulls, I believe, the second lead of the night when they were able to go ahead and knock down that jumper, when he was able to knock down that jumper, to make it 43-42 there. And so, again, he didn't score as much, but again, timely shots there for the Chicago Bulls that helped them get this win. Next up, Dalen Terry, you see, he only got the minute there, didn't do very much of anything with that 1 minute. So it just needs to get some more game time. But Dalen Terry, man, he's been playing very good with his energy as of late. Next up, Kevin Huerter. And so with Kevin Huerter, look, I thought that Kevin Huerter was solid off the bench yet again. Like, I love the fact that he's giving the shot fakes and things out there and knocking down 3-point shots and stuff like that. And you love his activity defensively. And I continue to say this with Kevin Huerter. It's just really, he looks more and more like the Kevin Huerter of the Atlanta Hawks there. And so 11 points, +1 in the plus minus box score. He had 3 rebounds. He had an assist as well. He did have 2 turnovers in 26 minutes, 3 of 6 from downtown and 4 of 9 from the field. Again, I think that he hit some timely 3-point shots. Next up, Tre Jones. And so Tre Jones, he was huge off the bench for the Bulls tonight because you see the activity with the steals. I talked about how the Bulls were getting, all kinds of steals early on in this game, and he had 3 of those. And just really, they led to some great things. And so Tre Jones, I believe he's top 10 still in steals. And so that's huge. And I just felt like that with Tre Jones tonight, he played a lot more like what we've been seeing early on. And so remember, Tre Jones has had to step in as a starter. He's also been dealing with like some ankle stuff as well. And so he's missed some time. And so it just looked like that Tre Jones, Kevin Huerter, those guys look like that they're back into rhythm. And so 11 points, +20 in the plus minus box score. He had the 3 steals, 11 assists in this game. He had 1 rebound as well, 5 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line in 24 minutes. And so just a great team win for the Chicago Bulls across the board. So next, I wanted to go ahead and jump into now just the team box score and take a look at some of the keys out of the team box score today. And so the first one being just the bench scoring. And so I talked about this a little bit earlier with the Bulls just having the advantage at the first half mark of 14-2. They would go on to win in bench scoring 38-27. And again, as the Bulls really have got things rolling this season, that's one of the things that they've done well. They've been able to just really take it to teams off the bench. And so that was good to see. Next, just kind of jumping into just what this team was able to do with the field goals today. And so you see that the Bulls, they shot the ball pretty solid. So 50 of 89 for 56%. The Cavs 48% in this one, 42 of 87. You see that the 3-point percentage today for the Bulls, just 39%, 14 of 36. You see that the Cavs were 12 of 39. Next up, free throw percentage today. And so the Bulls probably could have had a bigger lead today had they made all of their free throws. And so 13 of 18, 72%. The Cavs, 83%, 15 of 18, pretty even there. When it came down to rebounding, the Bulls out-rebounded the Cavs today. I thought that was a big stat as well. I think that whenever this team has really taken the losses, other teams have taken it to us on the boards. And so 43-40, you also see just really the offensive rebounds holding the Cavs to just 8 of those. And so remember, they had 2 of those in the first half. And so 43-40, the Bulls out-rebound the Cavs. When you look at the assist, 35 assists, that's always a great indication of the Bulls playing very well. And so they lead there 35-26. And then the steals. And so we talked about this first half. They had 8 of those steals, very disruptive. And with the steals, not only were they getting them, but they were creating good offense off of that. So I thought that was huge for the Bulls. When it comes down to the turnovers, even though the Bulls have the least amount of turnovers in this game. They still gave up the most amount of points. And so 22 points off of their turnovers. The Cavs 21 points there off of their 20 turnovers, and then the fast breaks. And so this is a huge indication, of the Bulls playing well. 25-14 in the fast break points. And so that's always a big indication that the Bulls are playing well. And then with the points in the paint, 68-52, I thought that the Bulls did a great job as far as getting it into the paint, especially in the second half. I thought that Vooch did a great job there. I thought that they were getting some good stuff off of those steals and stuff like that. So all that really added up to some good paint scores for the Bulls today. And so you see that the Bulls, look, their biggest lead there was 19. You see that the biggest lead there for the Cavs was 12. And so I just think that once the Bulls responded after the Cavs got up, they just really took it to the Cavs each quarter. They also, too, just were able to close as well. And so this was really a very good win for the Chicago Bulls. I think a statement type of win for this team, especially against a Cavs team, even though that they're struggling, comparatively speaking to what they did last season, still getting this win against the Cavs. You haven't beat them in a while. This is the first time that I think the Bulls have won, at the United Center since they beat the Wizards by 1 point there. And so, just a huge win across the board. You take that. Hopefully the Bulls can really build on this momentum and they can pick up another win Friday against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And so you guys let me know what you guys' key takeaways were from the Bulls beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. Once again, they take care of them 127-111. We'll be talking a little bit more about what the Chicago Bulls should be doing here as trade season has unofficially kind of opened up, with everybody being eligible to be traded, or at least 90% of the league now eligible to be traded. So we'll be talking about that on the next one. But anyway, you guys let me know what your thoughts are from this one. And as we always say, go Bulls, and I will see you guys on the next one. All right, peace.